Welcome back to the Monday Mashup, the flagship show from the upper tier on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. This is going to be one hell of a season. Of course, you can see in front of me there, the mashers are all aligned, ready to go. Back again. How we doing, my men?
Back in the asylum.
Fucking A.
All good, man.
Welcoming Greg, of course. Greg, I don't think you've been on a mashup before, have you? No,
not in the mashup. It was on the upper tier, all right, during the Euros, and everyone else bailed.
Well
said.
Jeez.
Shots fired already.
Mark not happy about that, about to log off straight away.
Have we found Wayne yet?
Mark,
No.
show the card, Mark. Show the
Yeah,
card.
red card, lads. Red card.
Right, let's get into
What
this.
is international football anyway?
Fucking joy.
Nothing in this country.
Exactly.
Right, let's get into the latest news anyway, and we'll cover latest news, and then at the back end of the show, we're going to take your top 6 picks and your bottom 3 picks, which will be a very interesting debate.
Top 6.
Let's kick off. Greg, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You're new on the show, so let's jump in here. Messi to PSG and the fall of Barcelona.
Well, this has gone ridiculous now. Looking at the money that they have on the bench over 6 players, with Coutinho's on fucking 500 grand a week sitting on the bench, got on loan. It's just ridiculous. They can't afford to sign him again because of that. To me, I think I still wouldn't be surprised if he re-signs at Barcelona. I think they're putting the pressure on the Spanish La Liga to change the rules. They changed the rules for Barcelona to let them sign your man Brightway last year as an emergency signing, and then wouldn't let the team they bought him off sign someone as an emergency. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if he stays there.
Yeah, I think it's
just-
Barcelona and then everyone else, isn't it? Go ahead, Dean.
Just who would have thought, right? Remember that golden era when they wiped the floor with United at Wembley in Champions League final? Who would have thought 10, 11 years later that Martin Braithwaite would be the talisman for Barcelona?
He was a good
Talk
player for
about
Middlesbrough.
I'd
Martin
say
Braithwaite didn't even
I'd
think
say
that.
he's at home, like blue out of old school, lathered in fucking Vaseline in a little kid's pool with a lot of grannies just pushing him around, doesn't know how lucky he is that this has happened to Barcelona. Martin fucking Braithwaite is
You're my boy.
Barcelona's talisman. Really? Now, I agree with Greg there.
Who's Martin Brightway?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Who is this
Exactly.
guy?
Yeah, it's fucking just madness. As I said yesterday on the transfer, on Sunday on the Saturday on the transfer show we were recording. It's just absolute the shockwave that's gone through football regarding this is madness. And I know Noel holds no emotion for anything in life other than his family in Liverpool. When he says yesterday about Messi, how hard it was to watch that press conference, and I was like, fuck him.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
How
I couldn't
hard?
believe it.
I was making the point as he's driving a 40-foot container across the border, stuffed to the gills with €500 notes. I'd say he was devastated, all right, yeah. Really devastated.
He didn't look too devastated today when Sky Sports cameras filmed him out his back garden in his shorts,
Yeah.
drinking a cocktail, did he?
Kayfabe is real.
With a saddle,
Kayfabe is alive and well, lads.
with a saddle on the dog, yeah.
The size of that dog, lads.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's a normal sized dog, lads. It's him.
It's just Messi's.
Yeah, he's small. That's what it is.
It's
Yeah,
an optical
that's a normal sized dog.
I've
Ted,
been to Barcode.
you
I've
know
seen
what that's
bigger
about,
dogs
Ted,
like
yeah?
that.
What? Me? I'm 7 foot tall, lads.
Well, before this show started, Darren asked me what happened to my head, and what I thought I would do was I'd do a tribute to the 2 biggest summer signings, with the bottom half being Lukaku and the top half being CM Punk. So I said I'd give a bit of both.
And he's also promoting this week's Retrotainment episode on Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah. Oh, well, we know that. Yeah. Come out to the fucking Case McGraw Fingless Massive now.
Ted,
You're not doing one on a decent fucking hooligan film. That fucking Frodo Baggins going around.
Once we're warriors. Once we're warriors is what you want. Yeah. Fucking
Frodo Baggins.
Football factories. as well.
football factories. What I said. Any fucking Dyer.
At least he comes across
Fuck
like a
Danny
football
Dyer.
hero.
Exactly.
Fucking Frodo
Ted.
Baggins.
Okay,
Frodo Baggins.
can
Yes,
Ted
Niall.
can Ted come in here now and talk about Messi if that's okay? Ted, give us your thoughts on
Go
Messi.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he is gone. I think he's done with Barcelona now. He's made his piece of the big crying show saying I'm sorry I'm leaving or whatever.
Sorry
He
for
rattled
raping
off.
you money was, yeah.
He's made his apology. He's got I think he's gone. I think Barcelona will want to keep him. They'll do what they can with the league to keep him because honestly, without him, that league is going to be in serious trouble. Because people do travel over to watch that Spanish league to watch. It used to be Ronaldo and Messi, and then Ronaldo's gone. So now it's Messi, and who's going to be the big draw now?
And Braithwaite.
No,
Can't
the
wait for him
big
to be
draw.
top scorer this year.
He's the underdog.
Craig's had to fund 25 cents on Martin Braithwaite to be top scorer.
Each way.
5 cent. I give him about 10 cent. 500 to 1.
Anyway, let's move on. Harry Kane, yay or nay? Greg,
No.
he's staying at Spurs.
Daniel Levy's a fucking rat cunt to try and deal with, I'd say.
It's a little rat
With
bar.
3 years on his contract, you'd have to go with 150, 200 million. And City having just spent 100 million on Grealish, I ain't got to drop that on him.
And it's all right. They only spent 40 million apparently.
Apparently,
Pep
they only
telling us
spent
lies
40
again.
million.
40 million.
That was-
fucking
That
smoking,
was the
man.
greatest thing I've heard.
What the fuck was that?
We
don't
made
know.
60 million last year, so it only cost me 40.
Fuck yeah.
Look,
Ned-
that's not how it works.
Net
Yeah.
spend is alive and well at Man City.
They have John Delaney's accountant working for them.
Mark,
Pep said
Harry
that
Kane.
because he knows the backlash.
Yeah, no, I think it's stay there another season or so and then head off.
You ain't going. Ian,
No.
staying.
Yeah.
Darren,
Yeah, no, I think he'll go. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he'll. I
Darren's
think he'll go. I
optimistic.
think I think he'll end up at City, man. I just think he'll go in eventually. Him and Levy will sit down and have a little chat. I think I agree with what Greg said. Levy's an absolute rat bastard to deal with. We've had to deal with going on with Berbatov and fucking Michael Carrick over the years and fellas like that, and he was a nightmare. But I think he'll just decide. You know what? We'll cash in our chips here. If they've money on the table apparently for Lautaro Martinez, there's not a chance in hell Spurs are trying to sign a bloke like that
60
unless Harry
million
Kane's
quid.
leaving the billion. Do you know what I mean? They're not looking at a striker if Harry's going to
60
stay.
million for Martinez.
So if they got 120 million for Kane, they got Martinez in for 60. They'd still have 60 for a decent midfielder and a centre back, and they'd be in a lot better position than just having Kane in the squad for my money. Because the squad is poor as you look at it, other than up top, like, you know what I mean?
Ted,
Yeah, I think he will go, and because I think someone will offer the money eventually. Someone will cave and offer the money, and Levy won't give a fuck about if Spurs can sign somebody in the week before the league starts. And if that money's offered, he'll sell him. He can give a fuck about whether Spurs win that match or not. Good luck to him. If he gets that money, he'll let him go straight away. No bother.
Levy's the type that'll do the deal right on the last day of the transfer window, won't he? So they don't get a chance to spend it.
They'll be going out to play, and fucking Levy will sign it on the dotted line, and it'll be like, sorry, Kane, switch that jersey there. You're not with Spurs. We're just out there selling you. Get out there. That's when he'll do it. He won't give a fuck, that lad.
Absolutely. Well, we're kind of surrounded here by United fans, so we'll go to our United fans for the next couple of points. Varane and Sancho, is it enough?
No,
Not at the minute. No, not at the minute.
needs.
I don't love
need
the
a
optimism. Jesus,
it's-
lad. I was expecting a bit more fucking.
No, we're realistic in Manchester.
I'll be
you know, not all the
optimistic for you, lads. I'll be optimistic for you. I think it's definitely a fucking step forward anyway, for sure.
It's an improvement, but it's not going to win you the
100%
league.
a
I
step
don't
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
still a few
it's
pieces of the
probably
puzzle,
the-
isn't there?
it's probably the best position we've gone into a league since Ferguson's left, I'd say. You know, with a healthy, fit squad, with new players in, and with no fuck ups with the manager. You know, we're not looking at who's coming in or who's not coming in. Need a midfielder, and I still think we're probably short up top. I think we could do a few more goals. I think we need another striker, to be honest with you.
Martin Braithwaite.
There you go.
Rinse Barcelona while you can.
I just
100
can't
million
trust,
out on Braithwaite right now.
That was well played, Mark.
I just can't trust a black Danish fella. Just doesn't make fucking sense in my head.
Oh,
Like.
Jesus.
Ted, Varane and Sancho, enough?
It'll improve our squad massively. I don't think it'll be enough to win the league with the signings other teams have made now.
Okay. Following on from that, Pogba, does he stay or go? Greg?
Stays now.
He stays now.
If Messi goes to PSG like it's supposed to, Pogba stays and signs a new deal.
Mark?
I think Juventus are sniffing around.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't think he stays. I think regard just going back to Varane and Sancho, you know, I was been talking real positive about United as much as that kills me, and I did mention that Darren and Mark will appreciate me saying that about United. I think the Sancho and Varane, I said at the end of the season that they needed someone to step in and help Maguire out. Like Maguire's going to learn massively, and he's going to come on with Varane beside him. He
needed someone with a bit of pace.
Sancho coming in takes the pressure, takes the burden off Greenwood and takes the burden off Rashford. You know, with Rashford being out injured now, recovering from surgery, and then keeping Cavani is massive. But I think if United can get Trippier, and as much as I'd love Liverpool to sign him, I think if Pogba goes and United got Saul, I definitely think there's more than just City and Chelsea challenging for the league next season.
I don't.
Disagree.
I don't think they need Trippier.
Obviously, you're going to disagree because you're a Chelsea fan.
No, I just disagree that
they have
the answer.
They have Dalot there in games where they need more attacking minded. Like I was saying to the lads, I said when United are playing the likes of a Norwich or something, when you know they're going to sit back for the whole game, you don't need to play Wan-Bissaka. You play Dalot, who gives you more of an attacking option.
Yeah, and he'll do more. He'll do more playing against the low block as well, won't he?
Where does Lingard sit in all of this? And just before that, I'm surprised we didn't start
on
with
the
Mark,
bench.
and surprised we didn't get Mark and Darren at the start of the podcast talking about Bruno getting his first goal of the season after celebrating like he'd won the fucking league when he scored on the weekend.
He's trying to get your rivals.
It's a good goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Free
decent
kick to
goal,
Bell. Fair to him now.
It was a
Cracking
cracking
free
kick, yeah, absolutely.
In all fairness, where does Lingard sit in all this? Because
On the bench.
I think depending on who else comes in with money on the table, Lingard might stay. Like if you're talking about Pogba maybe leaving, if you're talking about Pogba leaving and he's been playing on the left for us because we can't trust him in the midfield, and if Pogba left, then what are you left with? You're left with, you know, Dan James for the left-hand side.
Martial.
Because, Martial looks like he's on his way out as well, doesn't he, really?
Here's a question for you, United boys. Like, in fairness, because I know you're going to get annoyed every season that like you're linked with this player and linked with that player. Do you think that the board might go, all right, we're after doing enough to appease the fans now and not really look at fucking getting anyone else in unless there's outgoings?
Well, he's already said that. Done unless something special comes.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's hoping that if he gets enough out the door and can, you know, get enough money in the door, they'll let him go. Listen, go on for a third. You know.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I don't think Trippier. I think, you know, you're talking about 30 million for a right back is going to sit in the bench for, you know, the majority of the season is mental money to be paying when you probably look at something like 40 odd and you'll get Sol.
That's all that I was disagreeing with Dino there.
You know?
Disagreeing with him saying that if they strengthened in the midfield, it just meant Trippier more so than anything else.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying like Saul would be unbelievable.
I don't overly like Trippier.
Van de Beek. Van de Beek not going to want to sit there and stay on the bench again for another year.
Yeah.
No, I think
he'll 100% play a lot more this year.
I think he'll be starting a bit more this season now. Yeah,
you would hope so.
He's had a good pre-season, hasn't he?
He did have a good pre-season now, to be fair to him. I think
put on over half a stone of muscle as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Strength training
Steroids
the whole way through
Steroids
Euros and stuff.
He's on the juice.
It's been in Amsterdam for the summer vacation.
On the jet, man, yeah.
All those push-ups on them prostitutes work, lads.
Been hanging out with Ric Flair recently.
So I suppose Mark Pogba.
Yeah, like they said, with Messi apparently going to PSG, I can't see it happening. Juventus probably come in from. I'd rather see that than them go for free during the summer. Like,
So then I suppose looking at the picture at United, I mean, we know Solskjaer has signed a new 3-year contract or something, or 3 years on top of the year. He left for 4 years.
An option of a fourth, yeah.
With Solskjaer at the helm there, do you think you can? You think you're at the wheel? Can you mount a serious title challenge with him leading the line?
I think so, yeah.
Greg's nodding his head. Greg?
Yeah, bring Greg in.
No, I don't think so. He has one way of playing, and when it does not work, United look desperate. Absolutely desperate. If they can't break, if you're playing against a team that's sitting back, it's going to be the same thing over and over. Down the left, down the left, down the left. Now, obviously, we didn't have much of a right side last year, so it might be a bit different this year, but he generally struggles against teams that sit deep. It's great when he plays the big teams, because 90% of the time he's going to sit back and just go catch them on the counter. And it works. But you can't win a league like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he'll change his tactics a bit more than he did last season, in fairness. And we brought your man in there to go over set pieces, and I think then we scored from 2 or 3 set pieces against Everton there over the weekend. So
yeah.
I think we'd be thereabouts. Like, and like I say, I think he will have to change.
I hope I'm wrong.
I think he learned that from last season. Like,
I'd expect us to win it in the next 2 years.
What?
I'd expect us to win it in the next 2 years.
You'd expect that, yeah, but
I would not, and that's even with Solskjaer. I'm not a massive fan of his tactically. I think he's done an awful lot of good at the club. The culture has kind of changed at the club since he's come in. And you can see that the players are much happier and stuff like that. He's getting more out of lads, which is great. But I do think a little bit he can be tactically inept at times, like what Greg said. You don't need to be playing two defensive midfielders at home against Burnley. It's silly. Like
evidently we did, because we lost to them.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But part of the problem was that you're going in with a system like that, which means that when you do get the ball, you can't create enough fire up the pitch.
To play them.
Yeah, well, it just shows his naivety, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I think there was a naivety there, but I think there was a thing of like, he'd gone with that for the whole time, and he didn't want to go away from it, because if it went wrong and he went away from it, then everyone would be, why has he gone away from something that was working? I think he'd found something that was working more often than not, and he decided he was just going to stick with that for that season and do as best as he could with that. And now he's gone out and he's made two very, very good signings. And the thing is that you don't really most clubs don't make more big signings than that. Like, if you're making other signings, they're kind of smaller players. So 2 big signings, and unless somebody goes out, and at this stage, I don't see anybody else going out. It's too close to the start of the league for us to be letting somebody else go to try and find somebody else to sign in, because we're notoriously bad for getting a deal done quickly. So
yeah, but we've a massive squad, Ted. Like, we could probably do a shift in 3 or 4 even from the squad now. I know Tuanzebe's left.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the squad players, yeah, but I mean the likes of Pogba and Martial.
Yeah,
I don't see them going now at this point.
No, probably. Well, I think Martial could still go. And I don't think
Rashford wasn't injured, I'd agree, but with the Rashford out with the injury, we need someone out on that left as well.
I think you'll give the kid Elanga a spin.
I think it'll be James.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
I expect James to start on Saturday.
He could.
I think it'll be him that goes out of anyone.
Who, James?
Yeah, I think it'll be James that goes.
I thought he did last good 2 or 3 months of the season when he got into the team.
He was very good at the Euros as well.
Yeah.
He had a good Euros.
He was, but it's overall, like, his 2 years at United has been poor.
You won't get the money for James that
games.
United are going to need. Like, you might get 25 to 30 million for Lingard. You won't get that for James.
Lingard is one I think we should have let go. I think he should have been let go. I know people are like, give him another chance. Yeah. He had a good game, like a good few months at West Ham.
Deserve another chance.
No, well,
the thing is, if he comes in and he fucking flops again,
I think he found his level at West Ham.
Yeah,
I think he's level. That's it.
Yeah.
They've obviously got to figure that they're waiting on, though. you know,
Yeah,
and they're not going to move until that's, you know, I could see him somewhere like Everton. I think Everton are short absolutely everywhere. And I think someone like Lingard could bring in a lot to them, you know.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we start talking about the top four now.
Top 6.
Let's move on and talk about
I'm only
Chelsea.
messing.
Bring in here on Chelsea.
No, I'm only buzzed. We have to have the banter. It's the first one back.
Lukaku in. Is he the missing link to bring the title back to Stamford Bridge?
Listen, Noel, we said this from the get-go, Noel. With all the talk about Haaland and all this kind of stuff, it was without a shadow of a doubt, he was the first name on my lips and your lips. Do you know what I mean? Just goes to show you, really, doesn't it, that like in transfer windows, you can't really be listening to some of these club presidents and all and saying there's no chance of this happening or no chance of that happening, because it just came out of the left field, like, and it got done pretty quick, like. And I think that's what your one Marina does, in fairness. Like, well, people's eyes are over here, she's fucking working over here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't look what this hand is doing. It's over here. Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, it's a different player to what we've seen at United. And look, at the same time, he still fucking scored a lot of goals for United. But if you look at him now in terms of how, you know, the nick he got himself in, and just his general all-round play, his link-up play with fucking Lautaro was absolutely phenomenal last year, and rightly so. He got the Serie A Player of the Year. I think without a shadow of a doubt, it's a player that we've needed for pretty much since Costa left. Let's be real, you know. He
still got a touch like Larry Murphy, though. Yeah, let's not forget that.
Yeah, well, I think you might want to go on Twitter there and have a look at the video that one of the Inter Milan fans posted up. It's improved a hell of a lot, like, you know what I mean?
He's playing in Italy, man, where he has 10 minutes between two challenges.
How many goals did he score, though?
10 minutes between two challenges.
10 minutes, would you stop? I don't know what you'd be watching.
It's the fucking slowest league in the world, man. You go out and watch the underplaying 20s against fucking Castle. Not the weekend, you'd seen a better game.
But
the
you know what? We should have
poison,
signed Edison Cavani then. Sorry, like a 38-year-old. Okay, we should have.
Listen, there was nothing wrong with him last season. He was
there was nothing wrong with Lukaku the seasons he played for you either. Still scored a lot of goals.
Plenty wrong with him.
Still scored a lot of goals.
We'll see how he gets. We'll see how
Better
he gets on in the big games.
Better player than Marcus Rashford. That's for sure.
There's still a lot of pressure on him coming back to Chelsea, though. Off and going back to Chelsea, like, he went off kind of way off from United.
Yeah.
And
he brought a lot of that on himself, though.
I know he did, but he's coming back for 100. If he comes no change,
you are positive about fucking Jadon Sancho. The same thing to be said about Rafael Varane. You know, playing in a snowflake league as well against pussies like Messi. Do you know what I mean? Can he do it on a rainy night at Stoke? You know what I mean? With big Harry beside him to fucking pick up the pieces. I'm not so sure about that either. Of course, any signing at this stage like that with big money is a risk. It's always going to be that way.
It's massive after the money that was spent, like, and the kind of the spotlight that was well and title, and then you have someone like that.
I think this will take a lot of pressure off Timo. If you look at the way how Lautaro benefited from Lukaku last year, I think without a shadow, without Tuchel's looking at that and saying he can play off him, because don't forget that's where Timo found a success when he played with Leipzig, by playing off a big man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely an option there. It's
that's
exciting.
what I said to you is when you signed him.
Yeah, you did.
I said you need to just go and buy Paulson now and used to be grand.
That was it. That was exactly it. So I mean, I think it's definitely it's a good sign. I mean, in America, that's absolutely crazy in terms of the inflation and the prices that you're going to pay for a top level striker. I think I'd have taken this over the Haaland deal for 150, 160 million, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's definitely a better
Um,
signing than Haaland, so 100%.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. It makes more sense. It's less money and
It's a better signing than Haaland.
No,
It
I'm
makes more
saying
sense
like
money-wise,
fi-
but there's no
fi-
way that
financially,
it's
like
better signing than
financially,
Haaland.
what Haaland wanted coming in,
Yeah.
it's just like you're
that's,
not
that's
paying
what
that
I'm
to
saying.
that lad.
He's
600
also
grand a
twice
week.
the
But
player.
Darren, at this stage, are you?
He like
No, listen.
in no galaxy do you choose Lukaku over fucking Haaland, lads.
Okay,
That's
so
absolutely
Haaland has proved himself in what, the German league for a year. Guess what? We signed a fucking 20-goal scorer from the German league last year. That's done it a million fucking for 3-4
And the
seasons
Champions
in a
League.
row. So
you're not necessarily judging it on the 60 goals in the 60 games he scored. If you've had a look at him, the kid's on a different fucking level, man.
Of course he is.
You know.
But at the same time, for 160 million and the ridiculous money that he wanted for his dad and the agent fees and all, 100% Lukaku makes more sense from a financial
What's
standpoint.
Big Rom coming in on?
Well, it's going to be less than what Haaland is. I think it's 12 million. 12 million a year, whereas I think he wanted something like 18 or 20 million a year. So, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. You're risking,
There's also the difference in age, though.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
but experience as well, Greg. Look, do you know what I mean? You're signing the player with
There's
Premier League
experience, but then-
experience.
There's a 6-year age gap, is there not?
Is there a sell-on value with Lukaku if it doesn't work out?
Well, you're not
No.
signing them for that. You're signing them to hope
Yeah.
that he comes in and makes the goals. Like, so, look, I appreciate all your pessimism. I love it. The tears are salty and they take from me, to be fair. But
Can't wait
I
for him to
will,
come in and get injured straight
and
away.
well, look, I hope the same for all the United players. The whole squad gets injured, but I'm just telling you, your tears taste absolutely beautiful.
You'll get 20 against.
And Liverpool comes
you'll get
second
them
ahead of
against
United.
Burnley and Leeds that are open up like a tin of bleeding
Yeah,
Heinz.
the
Like,
kind
but
of
when
teams
City and
United
Liverpool,
can't beat.
We'll see what
The kind of
happens.
teams United can't beat. I love it.
We beat enough teams to finish ahead of you last season, didn't we?
You did all right, yeah.
And
You
I'll
spent
put
enough
money on the
too.
table says we finished ahead of you this season again.
Please do.
Much
Come
you
on,
want.
lads, make it
Please
away,
do. You name a number and I'll match it. Go
Come
for
on,
it.
go ahead. Go on.
No,
Give a
you
shout
name
there.
a number.
What do you want to go for? A ton?
Go for it. Done.
Right. Ton
Done.
on the table. There you
A
go.
ton
lads.
and done. I can't wait until that little.
A grand, lads. Big,
Can't
big
wait till
money
that
bets
little.
here.
I can't wait till the little ferret breaks his leg in the first game of the season, Sancho.
He won't play.
Good Lord. Ian,
I'll do a bet with you. 25% each way, all right?
100% now. That's the one I'm talking about.
20
No.
That
30 back.
was for Braithwaite, lads. That was for Braithwaite.
all joking aside, in fairness, I do look. I hear your points about it. I think it does make sense. It's a good deal for Chelsea. I think it's the best we could have got, as I said, without going mad and paying what we would have paid for Haaland. I mean, I think it's mental, lads, and I'm sure you'd agree here, Darren, as well. Like, it's actually mental that, you know, Dortmund didn't even want to try and double their money this year on what they're going to get next year. I found that a bit crazy. Like, that's Daniel Levy level shit. You know what I mean?
But they
they
did
can-
the same
the
last
thing with-
season with Sancho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
did
just-
they made an extra 50 million if they gave us Sancho last summer?
Yeah, because remember, United, Chelsea, and Liverpool were all in for Sancho last summer, and I think it was going up to 120 or something like that. So I just found it very, very strange the way they do business. And you're guaranteed.
But in general, they're a well-run club, like, you know,
Yeah.
the way they're able to do business and pick up signings
what do you think, Dino, on
and
that?
turn over and stuff.
Regarding Haaland, I don't know if any of you remember. Noel, you probably remember when we were talking about Haaland, and I said that I don't think he'll move this summer, and I think what's going to happen is he'll stay there for another year and he'll end up at Bayern Munich, and that's the news that's coming out this evening from Sky
100%.
in Germany.
The Lewandowski replacement, like,
Yeah, and don't be surprised if Lewandowski.
Germany, it always does that.
Dortmund don't need, like, they're not short of money, and they just
Yeah.
got rid of Sancho. Who do they replace Haaland with?
Yeah.
You take out that two talisman out of that team, and who did they replace them with?
Well,
They
they're
don't
after
need to
bringing
sell
in.
Haaland.
They're after bringing in your man Malin, didn't they?
They're still going to make
Yeah.
about 65.
Yeah, that's right.
They're still going to make about 65, 70 million off Haaland next year.
But-
They're in a financially stable way.
Yeah.
You know, there's 2 or 3 teams in Germany, and that's it.
Have
So
you noticed, though,
it's not
in-
like they're looking to bring.
But they're
in
in a position definitely that like Real Madrid and fucking Barcelona would love to be in. Do you know
in,
what I mean?
in Germany, though, they
Financially.
tend to do that, though. They don't tend to price teams out of players.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at Lewandowski, I think he went on a free. Hummels went for 30 million and then went back for 15. You know what I mean?
That's
They're
exactly
not-
Lewandowski's
Yeah.
on end up back there next season.
I'd love to
100%.
hear. I'd love to hear the shopkeeper's view though on Lukaku, considering he's probably one of the biggest Lukaku fans that I know. So you need to back me up here, Noel.
I think he'll come back. I think 2 things you'll see there. He had an outstanding season there in Italy. And 2, I think he's coming back to the Premier League. He has a point to prove. And I think he's going to be prolific this year without a shadow of a doubt. I think we'll be looking back in 6 or 7 months' time and we'll be saying, good Lord, at 100 million, he was valued for money.
Yeah.
That's not often I say that about big signings. Let's move on.
Aaron will have to pay me in figures.
Let's quick one in. Thomas Tuchel today was interviewed, and he said that the success of the club last season was down to 1, the club structure, and 2, reverting back to a back 3. What was your thinking on his thoughts on that? Obviously, the club structure is a big one.
Can't really disagree with that, to be honest with you. I think you know, over the years, especially over the last 5 years, they've kind of put a lot of effort into kind of keeping a leash on what way that they pay players. Do you know what I mean? There's a very, very, like they'll bring in big, like, even if you look at last year, like the signings with Havertz and Werner, like the money, of course, it's astronomical money from, you know, if it's for you or me, but like compared to say what PSG are paying for someone like Hakimi or someone like that, or, you know, Ramos, and
But
even
you
look
were
at,
very close to paying the same for Hakimi, so you can't come out and say what they
no,
paid
but
for
not
him.
wages, man. That's why you went there. You're not listening to me. That's why you have to let me finish the sentence first. We're gonna match the fucking transfer fee, but not the wages. This
I
is
don't know.
what
I
I'm
think-
saying. It's the way.
I
Well,
think he went for the easier.
well, all
the
you need to
easier
do
league.
is just go and look at the wage structure then, and that'll answer your query. It's you know, they've stopped that kind of Man City thing of basically fucking paying people what they want and getting the player in for the sake of getting the player in. No, it is a well-run club. They've like you won Marina, as I said, the money she gets for some of these players. I mean, how we got the money back for Morata, I do not know. Do you know what I mean? But
that is the most overrated player you'll ever see.
yeah,
He's
but
stealing a living, that bloke.
it's incredible that she was able to get that money back from Atletico Madrid and was loaned to Juve then
What?
for one season.
He went from Real to Juventus for 60 or 70 million, went back that way, and then sold to Chelsea for
Yeah.
the same or more. Was it? He bought him back for 45 and sold him to Chelsea for 60
Yeah,
or
and
something.
then Chelsea got the
60
same
or
back,
75.
62.5, I believe, which is just mental that she even made a profit on himself.
I have absolutely no idea how he's played for Real, Atletico, Juve, and Chelsea, and he's absolute pony, like
Yeah.
horseshoe.
And he's
He's
playing a
red
punt
for
for
the
Spain.
Yeah.
He is actually.
Fucking hell, man.
And I felt at one point I felt sorry for the kid, like, because I was like, Jesus. But then I heard him coming out, like when he was at Chelsea, he was blaming, you know, his teammates
He's a
don't
rich
love him enough,
man's
or they don't
Iago
pass the ball
Aspas.
enough to him. And you're going, yes,
No,
that's
he's
exactly
a,
what
he's
he
a
is.
grafter.
He's
He's
a-
decent.
I was going to say, Iago Aspas a better
He
player.
actually is. Yeah, I'd have Aspas fucking there ahead of him any day of the week,
So he-
twice on Sunday.
You know, the best one he's made last season was Thiago Silva, I think.
Yeah,
he was
100%.
the best
What a player.
100%. And like I say, a player that actually downsized his wages just because he wanted to come in and be a part of a team that he thought he could fucking help in the future. So that's, I would 100% agree with Thomas Tuchel on that. And obviously reverting to the back three is, it was pivotal. I'm very surprised last year because I probably remember the season before that when Lampard reverted back to a back three, we actually found quite a lot of success. I think we hammered Wolves like something like fucking. That's where Tammy Abraham was actually getting most of his goals at that point. And then for some reason went back to the back four.
Lampard had, like, as bad as Solskjaer can be, Lampard hadn't a clue.
Yeah, but look, we can't really say that either. He definitely helped the club. Like he's not. He's a young manager. He's you know what I mean. He's not. I think he would be good. I just think the level was too high for him. But I agree with you. Like there was a lot of mistakes there. Without a shadow of a doubt. There's no. You won't hear me defend him to the point where I'm going. Look, he was great or anything. But there was a level. What he did was in a window where he couldn't sign anyone. I mean, if it wasn't for Lampard, you know, we probably wouldn't be talking about the likes of Mason Mount or anything like that now, you know, or Reece James. So,
Well, there is that. He brought up a lot of good young players.
Timo Werner and Kai Havertz didn't sign for Frank Lampard. Let's put that. Let's be honest, like,
Yeah.
he didn't sell a project to them. Money
No.
talked there. They had the money because no one else had. I'm not saying you spent the money and you bought the success, but Frank Lampard, I said it when he took the job, was way out of his league. at
yeah, no, I
Chelsea,
agree.
You know, and
Yeah.
he didn't sign those players. Tell you what, everyone's
That was
talking
the
about
club.
Mason Mount, blah, blah, blah. Part of that success was Lampard getting fucked out and Rudiger being brought in from the dark because Lampard didn't know what the fuck he was doing with that situation. Rudiger
Yeah.
came back in like a fucking, he'd been locked up for 6 or 7 years by fucking Fritzl. You know what I mean? And someone opened the door and says, out you go, mate. You know
Well,
what I
Should
mean?
have been with
same
some of
with-
his tackles.
Same with Jorginho and Kante as well. Do you know what I mean? He didn't know
Well,
where to play Kante.
That whole like when Sarri was playing Kante as an attacking midfielder, you're like, no, mate.
yeah,
He's
What the
amazing.
fuck is that
That's-
about?
that's
You
what
know-
he did. He brought it. Like you look at Tuchel straight away. You look at that midfield. That was such a key thing. Like he had Kovacic as a main player. I mean, Kovacic is. I think he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, I liked him when he was at Madrid as well.
Yeah, he's a fantastic little player. And then obviously with Jorginho, I mean, the fuck me, the renaissance of Jorginho under Tuchel.
He was dead
Oh,
and buried.
100%.
He was dead and buried in Chelsea.
100%. And Kante under Lampard was an asset that you could make money from as well. This is the way I thought it was going.
I'd still buy him for
But
United.
Tuchel just literally came in and but I think one name before we end up and finish up on Chelsea, and going back to Tuchel's point about the club structure, one name that people forget is Petr Cech. He had a huge hand in signing those players last year, Havertz and fucking Timo Werner, and bringing Mendy in as well. So he's seems like quite a shrewd and intelligent man. And
I tell you what, anything was better than Kepa. He's fucking dirty.
whereas
I
Mendy
was-
is
I
fucking
was
deadly.
I was just going to ask you that. There's one of my mates a Chelsea fan, and I thought he was to go in for a keeper this summer. I thought you keep maybe Mendy as backup.
Well, I thought
but
Donnarumma
I-
was the name on the list, but then again, we're at the talking again.
I think he was the name on
But
everyone's
PSG,
list.
Yeah,
PSG just went in and it's the same thing about Messi. Like, you know, one thing that
but do you think Mendy's your long term number one going
no,
forward?
I'd say you get another couple of years. I mean, he's still only 28. Like, I mean, for a keeper, that's pretty prime.
Oh,
like,
he's a baby at that stage. as a
yeah,
keeper.
so I think he's definitely a great keeper. But no, of course they're going to look at someone, I'd say down the road for sure. But I think look, Mendy didn't put a foot wrong, really, last year. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised to see a man Simon come in, the Spain goalkeeper now.
Yeah,
For Liverpool for Chelsea.
yeah, it's a possibility. It's
Let's
definitely a
move.
possibility.
Let's move on anyway, lads. Let's get into this. We're
Because
gonna
you're
do our
talking shite.
we're gonna do
Fuck
our
Chelsea.
we're gonna do our picks for the top
You.
6. But before we do our picks for the top 6 and the bottom 3, obviously, one question I'd like to ask you all: are we seeing a changing of the guard in the traditional top 6?
Answer this first.
Absolutely. Are Spurs and Arsenal still in that conversation, or has it changed?
No, they're out. Arsenal and Spurs are out. Leeds and Aston Villa are in. There you
London
go.
is blue.
Done.
London is blue.
That's why Graham didn't come on tonight, because the abuse he was going to take about Spurs. How dare they try and sign Lautaro Martinez for 60, 70
He's
million?
not going there anyway.
Not
He's like,
a
fuck
chance.
off.
Not a chance. And just going back to Harry Kane, yay or nay, I think I'm going to go to Man City before the season, before the end of the summer. But, you know, I've already told Pep that I've got 2 ropey ankles and he's mad spending that money on me. But I want to go anyway.
Fair enough. Ted, we seen a change to the top 6?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about the top six being Arsenal and Spurs, definitely, because when have Arsenal been the top six for the last couple of years? Leicester have been top six for the last couple of years. Since they won that league, Leicester have been top six. Fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know where this idea, like, this is just a marketing ploy that Arsenal and Spurs are top six. Now, Spurs, to be fair to them, over the last couple of years, have probably finished in the top six, I think, most of the time. But Leicester have definitely been in it. So I don't know how Arsenal are still being qualified there. And Spurs being a big club, sure, it's only the last couple of years where Spurs were ever finishing up there. Sure, you used to go to play Spurs and you'd be like, handy win coming up here, lads. That's only the last couple
unless
of
you
years.
were United.
Yeah.
Even United might struggle against them in a certain part, but we normally still take the fucking win. Like.
This season will be telling on if those are really out of the top six. Arsenal have no European football. If Arsenal finish outside the top four, having no midweek games,
they won't come in
and making a few signings. If Arsenal don't get top four, then the final nail is getting driven into that coffin.
It should have been done already.
Arsenal don't get top four, and I don't think they will get. I don't think they'll be anywhere near the top.
No chance.
Kroenke has to sell that club. He has to sell the club. If they don't get top four this next season, at the end of this forthcoming season, the fans will riot. They'll burn that ground to the stadium, and they're not going to get anywhere near the top four. Like you look at we'll talk about our top four and our top six and our relegation, whatever, blah blah blah. You look at the teams that are playing Champions League football and are still going to mount a challenge for the league, right? You look at Arsenal, they're bringing in one or two, or they're keeping Shaq Khan now as well. I think they must have heard us on the transfer show, Noel, talking about that being madness, getting rid of the only leader in the team, because Aubameyang's a pony. He's a fucking ponce. Like not having champions, not having European football. There was a time where if you didn't have European football and you were anywhere like Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, you were in contention of winning the league because you didn't have anything to focus on during the week. And then when you had your cup games, you could play anybody else you wanted to, but you had your strongest team for the league every single week. And Arsenal still won't get near the top four.
Do you not think they should bring in Scott Brown in or no?
Fucking Scott Brown. That young lad Liverpool are signing off, Newcastle bleeding, Bobby Clark, is probably better than half of what's at Arsenal.
And definitely better than everything at Celtic.
Sure, I seen there today that Celtic have a player running out of contract in January.
Yeah.
What fucking club has a player that's not signed to the end of the season?
Their jersey is still deadly though, so that's
lads, this is the Monday mashup. We don't talk about fucking Roy the Rovers football up in Scotland. It's a blasphemy to even consider that as football.
I'm with you.
Right, let's kick off our tops. Let's kick off our top sixes. Mark, kick us off. Top six.
I'm going United.
And say United for second, third, and fourth, right?
Yeah. No, well, we top four of United, City, Chelsea, and Everton. No
one ever.
United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, Spurs, West Ham.
That's seven.
No, we'll go first. Either Spurs or West Ham.
Spurs or West Ham, sorry.
All right, Ted.
Yeah, I'd be quite similar. United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea will all be up there in that top four anyway. I think that's a dead cert. Those four are going to be in the top four and nobody else. Leicester, I think, will be top six again. The last spot, I think, if Jimenez is back for Wolves, it could be there.
Oof.
But
outlandish. That's very far left.
That's fucking nuts. You need to stop taking drugs, Ted. They're bad for you, pal.
Nah, you have to remember that when Jimenez was playing for them, they were doing very, very well before his injury. They were doing very well before Jimenez picked up that injury. Like
he's got half a brain now.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him play. Could be all right. Like.
You have to remember as well.
Comiskey, you are going in deep tonight.
Good Lord.
Darren.
Hold out. Ian, give us your top six.
Oh shit, yeah. All the above, except I think Villa will be the team to come in and take first place.
So Villa instead.
Yeah.
Dane.
Toss of a coin between Manchester City and Chelsea for the league. United third, Liverpool just about shading fourth. Fifth, I'm going to wind me neck in and say Arsenal. I'm only joking.
You really want to wind your neck in.
Leicester fifth, and I know we are taking the piss out of Ted there saying he's on a lot of magic mushrooms talking about Wolves anywhere near that picture, but I think Leeds or Villa will be sixth.
Leeds or Villa.
Yeah, I'd be pretty much with
Lads, I'm telling you, full Ellen Road this season is going to make a massive difference. That place is a hot box. It's deadly.
Greg?
Wankers there. Dirty Leeds.
City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, and Spurs.
Leicester and Spurs.
Did you say Spurs?
Yeah.
No, I'll throw him out there, will you?
Nuno's going to do real well with them.
So,
He'll do fucking nothing.
Darren?
Yeah, I think mine's exactly the same as Greg's. City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, and Spurs.
Leicester and
I think Villa will run Spurs close for sixth, but I think Spurs will just nick it.
Okay.
That's providing Harry Kane stays, though.
Now there's no fucking there's no asterisks there. You made the pick now. Tammy Abraham to replace him.
Oh God.
I love it.
fucking hell.
He scored 10 goals in the first few games, and then that'll be it for the season. He's done.
Right.
I'm hanging it up here, lads. I'm done.
I'm going with. So my picks are I'm going with Liverpool, Chelsea, City, United, and I'm going with Villa, and I'm going with Leeds.
Talking about
Oh,
Leicester
nice.
dropping out.
Interesting.
Nice. I like that.
I think Leicester are going to drop out this year. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's my pick. So let's get on. Let's do bottom threes then. Interesting.
Oh Jesus.
Bottom threes. Mark, give us your bottom three. Not in any necessarily order.
I'm going for Norwich,
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, and then a toss-up between Southampton and Watford.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Can I just say that young fella from Chelsea that's at the going on loan to
Billy Gilmore.
no fucking to Southampton.
Conor Gallagher.
Broja, he's actually a quality little striker. Not saying he's gonna fucking, give them 20 goals or anything like that, but he's he is a good little player. Like he's only
I
19.
reckon he'll be another Ryan Brewster.
Well, watch that space. That's all I'll say.
Ted.
I think Norwich and Watford, I think, are both going to be kind of yo-yo clubs now for the next little while. They'll dominate when they're down in that championship, but then it's too much for the step up for them. And then I think Southampton are probably the other team. I'm surprised they've survived the last couple of years, to be honest.
They came really good at the end of last year.
They
Yeah,
did.
they seem to do that at the end of the season. Like they get ponied around for like most of the season and then just manage to stay in it.
Was it when Leicester bet them 9, or was it when United bet them 9, then they went on that run?
Yeah.
Don't forget, they've no Danny
They kept
Ings
them
now,
up.
and
Yeah, exactly.
Nathan Redmond's gone as well, so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. With Ings gone, that's like their main threat gone as well. So
Michael Obafemi, what a loss he is.
Darren.
he's still there, was he?
I'm gonna go for
Someone else.
Wolves.
Oh.
I think Wolves will go down. And I think Watford and Norwich are nailed on, like Ted said. I'll agree with him there, but on Wolves, I think Wolves are going to really struggle this season. Your man's going to be way out of his depth, that new manager. And I think they'll struggle because I don't think Jimenez is going to be the same. And I think they're going to lack goals and concede them like they're fucking watership
I
down.
think he's going to be afraid to go in for headers and all
Yeah.
now.
Looks like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia.
Jesus
For
Christ.
fuck's sake, lads.
Saying.
Dan, give us your bottom three.
I need to start getting regulations on this Dynamo Podcast Network.
Can I just say, I really, 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 really hope Burnley get relegated because I fucking hate Sean Dyche. But the three I'm going to go were Brentford, Norwich, and Crystal Palace. I think Vieira will be the first manager to be sacked as well.
That's it. I have him back to be the first manager to be sacked.
Do you know,
Good
I
man,
think Steve Bruce could be in trouble this season with the fans being back, because you know what their expectations are up there.
It's awful racist.
Yeah,
that
top
is.
12. Ian, give us your bottom three.
Spurs rock bottom. No, I think Brentford. I think Brentford, Watford, and could be Southampton, depending on fucking where their goals come from. But that'd be me.
I think Brentford are going to do all right this year with that new
Yeah,
stadium and first
I
time in
think
the
so,
league.
yeah.
Think so.
I think Brentford will be all right. It'll be
I
the other
think they
two
could
that
be
I'd be
the-
worried about.
I think Brentford
Well, I
could be
think
the breath of
in a
fresh air this
world,
year.
I think in a world where Barcelona are starting to crumble, I just want to see that happen to Spurs. So, for the rest of the, you know what I mean? We and I don't even like Barcelona, but we deserve them more than Spurs.
Greg, bottom three.
Deserve Hatton more than
Yeah.
Spurs.
Greg, just remember, you said Wolves are going to be at the top of the tables. You can't say them the bottom three.
No, that was Ted.
That was Ted.
I said
Right,
I think
sorry.
they'd be up there. Yeah.
Wolves, and Wolves. No. Palace will finish rock bottom, I think. And then Watford and Norwich would be the other two.
I'd say Norwich or Watford would probably be rock bottom now, to be honest.
I don't know. I can't see Vieira doing anything with that team. They've nobody left.
Yeah,
Really.
but
Zaha,
they'd be Big Sam will be brought in there when he's sacked.
Big Sam.
That's the standard, isn't it?
He can't.
Recovery
He
job.
can't even save you now.
I actually think Vieira could do all right.
I just don't think the players aren't there now. Do you know what I mean? And there's no money being spent really.
I'm surprised
The only way Vieira is doing well there is if he could put on a set of shorts and a set of boots.
We have Darren now making up for earlier comments, trying to show he's not racist.
Anyway, my picks, lads. I'm going with Palace, Saints, and Burnley. I'm going with the three promoted stay up this time.
Can I say I agree with Dean as well about Sean Dyche? Not just
Yes, I don't know whether you heard me when we started talking about our bottom three, and I was like, someone else please say them. And Niall, I can always rely on you. I can always rely on you. I fucking hate Sean Dyche with a passion.
You know,
he bought into this Ginger Mourinho thing, and I'd say he goes home and he's a big picture of Mourinho over his telly, and he just lies in bed noshing off, trying to hit his face every night.
Ginger Mourinho.
I despise Sean Dyche with a passion.
he's cut from the same cloth as Sam Allardyce. You know, just a
Yeah.
wanker.
Jobber.
Well, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure having you back
Pleasure
on
to be back in the
for
asylum.
the
lads.
first
Absolute
for the
pleasure.
first Monday mashup of the season back. I tell you, these are some picks. This is going to be fun. Ted, may the force be with you in terms of Wolves. It should be fun. Good, nice pick. As
Right,
always,
can we put a lot of magic mushrooms in the thumbnail?
you never know what that thumbnail might end up looking like. Trust me. Lads, been a pleasure having you back on. I love these Monday night.
So we
banters.
had Joe
Great to have you
Biden running around in a Chelsea jersey last year.
Anything's possible.
back. We had a lot of stuff going
If
on.
anyone, just
last year.
before we're heading over, myself and Niall are heading off to Liverpool the 29th of October. Anyone knows a cheap hotel that we could book into? Could you just leave the information in the comment section, please?
I'll give you Charlotte. I'll give you Charlotte the
willing to put
Harlots
the
number.
lads up.
Anyway, gentlemen, pleasure. Dynamo Podcast Network for all the video episodes.
They'll hate us all.
Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you pick up audio versions of the show, you will find us there. The upper tier, the Monday mashup. And as always, if you want to contact the show, Facebook and Instagram, the upper tier, and on Twitter at _upper_tier. If you want to get in contact with the show, let us know your comments, let us know your picks. Pleasure as always, man. Cheers.
Football's back.
Cheers, man.